Evan Ndika is in good spirit. Of course, that is the message from AS Roma this morning after the Ivorian defender collapsed yesterday in their game against Udinese in the week 32 of the Italian Serie A. On that note, I welcome you to Sports Africa. My name remains Ashalolu Afemi. James Agrebi is here. Kado Mundare, fortunately, is not around today, but of course, it's going to be an awesome time on the show. James Agrebi, you're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Femi. Happy to be here.
All right, so it's a very warm morning in the city of Lagos, Nigeria's commercial center. I don't know what the weather is saying wherever you are, but we trust that it's going to be a very great day for every one of us, and of course, an awesome week ahead. Please don't forget, don't just watch our videos. Please, we want you to subscribe. Please share our videos, and if there are things that you think we can do to give you better content or just give you better stuff on the show, please don't forget to put it in the comment section. All right, let's get started to our regular program. Of course, we'll be having the continental roundup, the talking point. Of course, we're talking about stars in diaspora, and today we'll be looking also as well into the big game over the weekend. I remember we took you to Morocco last Friday, and today we'll be looking at the outcome of that game. Now, I think a lot of people should go to the center referee in the Udinese versus AS Roma game. Of course, in the 72nd minute of that encounter, the referee called off the game after meeting with AS Roma and the Udinese players as well as the coaches over Evan Ndika after the 2023 AFCON winner collapsed on the pitch. So, of course, that game is going to be played at a later. Of course, today we'll be talking about Nigeria. Why are they taking time in appointing a new coach with about 2 months to their crucial World Cup qualifier against South Africa? Well, I don't know, but we'll be trying to find the answers to that in today. And of course, congratulations to 5 African players who played a key role in helping Bayern Leverkusen win their first Bundesliga in 120 years. Can you believe that? So much to talk about on the show today. James, let's get started. Like I said, thank God that Evan Ndika is alive and well this morning. Of course, the picture is on the screen this morning as shared by AS Roma. And the club has said that he will remain under observation for test in the hospital. Thank God that another tragedy has been averted. From late last year till this time, we've recorded a number of casualties, particularly on the pitch regarding African players. Remember, Rafik Jamena, the Ghanaian who died. And of course, remember the goalkeeper in South African League, I think from Zambia or Zimbabwe, also collapsed. Thank God that this was adverted rightly, and the referee made a very, very key decision in that game.
Yes, thank God that another calamity was averted. I don't know what the feeling would have been like this morning, So I don't know. It's there's something just like African players. There's only this thing about them when it comes to. I want to believe that it has to do with heart issues, because for a player to collapse like that, that it's heart related. And remember, it was this thing in Italy that Nwankwo was when they carried a test that he had heart issues. Remember Khalidu Fadiga too, So thank God that we didn't get to hear any sad news. I mean, just like what you said, last year it was a Ghanaian player, So let's just hope that we'll be able to recover in time, recover very well, because it's health first. I mean, that's one reason why the referee had to end the game, because when it comes to issues like this, football is irrelevant, So that's why they had to call off the game. And thank God he has. They said he responded to. He has responded to treatment, and also I saw a picture of him, from his hospital bed, and he's looking well, So, but in cases like this, you still have to be out and for proper examination to be carried out on him. So let's just hope that it's nothing too serious, because we've seen cases where players had to end their career. Remember the Zambian player?
Abruptly, yeah.
Yes, he just had to end his football career, at a young age, So I just hope Ndika will be very well, because you don't want such players to just end their career like that. But like I said, health first. If it means we'll not be able to carry on, I mean, You just have to accept that tough decision. That if it comes to that, because we've seen cases where players collapse on the pitch, and even the best of facilities could not help them. Remember the late, the former Cameroonian international, Mark Vivian Foy. He died on, yeah, that was way back in 2003. So we've had cases like this in the past,
Samuel
and
Okaraji, of course, also.
exactly, so we have a number of them like that. We also averted one in the Euros, Christian Eriksen. So Femi, it's not about the best of equipment. If it's some people that are just lucky that they didn't go the way of others. So we just pray that you're able to overcome this and get back to the pitch of play.
Okay, James, maybe you help us find the right answers. Okay, before I talk about the Nigerian situation, that game between Roma and Udinese, it was Roma went away. It at least stalled at 1-1. So I'm sure that game is going to be replayed at a later date that both clubs will agree to. Now, James, let's talk about the Nigerian situation. The NFF, a number of players have come out to lament the delay in appointing a new coach for the Super Eagles. They have a crucial World Cup qualifier against South Africa in June. That is about 2 months away. And up till now, there has been no decision by the NFF. And one insinuation that a lot of people, or the permutation a lot of people are making, is that it will be Finidi George, because remember, he served as assistant to Jose Peseiro at the AFCON, and of course served as interim manager for the 2 friendly games they played in March. The permutation is that people have said if it's going to be Finidi George, it will have been announced before now. Remember what the allegation of what transpired in the camp during the friendly match in March, where they said he had issues with Sadiq Umaru, even Ademola Lookman wasn't happy that he wasn't given substantial time on the pitch. So what do you think is keeping the NFF away from announcing a coach? Are they trying to convince Guardiola to leave Man City and come to Nigeria, or what's going on?
Well, it's only the NFF that can answer that, because me too, I'm surprised that by this time we don't even know who the Super Eagles coach is. So I don't know. It's just less than 2 months away, and we are still grappling about who's going to take over. If it's going to be Finidi, let them just announce it. If it's going to be Amuni, let them just announce it. For me, I think the best bet is to just go for a local coach, because if you end up getting a foreign coach, it's like coming to start all over again. It's like there's a blueprint in the Super Eagles now, and it's in the last friendly games the Super Eagles played under Finidi. I saw a semblance of what they did at the last AFCON, just a little tweak here and there, so it's still the same blueprint that they are using. So yeah, I think it will be unwise for them to get a foreign coach, because by the time he comes, maybe you now come up with another, maybe a 4-5-1 formation, and 4-2-4, and the players will now like this is not the time to start experimenting and start delaying. Everything they should be up and doing now, so that the players will know that okay, this is who we are working with, so everything, we're still waiting for them. Let's just pray that before this month ends, we'll know the new Super Eagles coach. If it's going to be Finidi, let it be Finidi. The good thing about appointing a coach like Finidi is he has been part of the team. He was at the last AFCON as an assistant. He have a taste of the team as the head coach. He won one and then lost one. So that's the advantage if we have over other coaches, especially the local-based the homegrown coaches. So it's like he has already auditioned for the job. So for me, I think I was calling him, let's say 60%, because remember he defeated Ghana, so any victory against the Black Stars, it's the points is always high for us, So for me, they just have to get our hands on deck and let this be out of the way, because this is not the time to start delaying, because there's no more time, honestly.
Okay, of course, the complexity of the Nigerian society is actually playing on in these interviews. I've called on the to announce to appoint a foreign coach, because they are saying, or the argument is that if a coach from a particular tribe is appointed now and he doesn't do well, he wouldn't get the support of all the tribes in the country. So that is the complexity of the Nigerian society playing out right now. But hopefully, we've also heard reports that this week, most likely, the NFF will take a decision. The NFF Technical Committee will take a decision, announce a substantive coach for the Super Eagles. James, let's talk about Bayer Leverkusen. In 120, can you imagine that Bayer Leverkusen, as big as that club is, as popular as the club is in Europe, where you have Lucio, you can name them. They haven't won Bundesliga until over the weekend, and we have 5 African players who were at the center of it all. Super Eagles and Nigerian forward Victor Boniface. You also have Nathan Taylor. Then you have Edmond Tapsoba, who is from Burkina Faso. You also have Odilon Kosuno, who is from Cote d'Ivoire. And then you have Amin Adli of Morocco. 5. We can also provide an assist. Africans are doing great things in Euro, James.
Yeah, congratulations to all the African players who contributed to this magnificent feat. It's surprising that Bayer Leverkusen have never won the Bundesliga until the weekend. So I was rooting for them. Honestly, I never gave them a chance. Honestly, because you all know why. But when I started seeing the signs that this team means business, so that's when I just had to switch.
Unbeaten. We have to say that unbeaten.
Yes, and they are still unbeaten. They've gone over 40 games unbeaten. Yeah, and there's a possibility that they might end up with the treble because they are in the final of the DFB-Poka, that's the German Cup, and they are, let me say, almost into the semi-finals of the Europa Cup. And they are flying now that they've gotten the league out of the way. Attention will now shift to the Europa League, and I think they will still also want to go all the way unbeaten, especially in the league, because there's a possibility that they might still lose, in the Europa League, But I still see them as a team that they will want to create record, because it's unimaginable. Not even Arsenal's invisible season comes close to this, because you expect that maybe in other competition they would have lost, but they just refuse to lose. They've gone so close to losing their streak a couple of times, especially against Karabakh in the Europa League. They had to dig deep and score late goals. So it goes to show that this is a team with strong mentality and to think that Xabi Alonso only joined this team when they were really struggling. They were so close to relegation. So he was able to dig them out of it, and here they are now as league champions. Bayern Munich, the last time they didn't win the league was way back 2000, and they started winning the league in 2013, all through till Bayern Leverkusen ended that streak. It's worthy to be celebrated. Look at their fans, the way they trooped onto the pitch. Who can deny them this? That's a moment of happiness. I don't think the referee even had any stoppage time, but there was no point. The game was already done and dusted, And so, congratulations to them. Congratulations to the 5 African players who contributed to this magnificent feat. At least, if the story is told in generations to come, they will always pinpoint the African players who contributed their own quota in making this achievement come to pass.
Yeah, well said, James. Well said there. Okay, now let's take a trip to Zambia. Another tragedy was somehow abated, though it cost lives, but Rainford Kalaba, a former Zambian captain, of course, was involved in an accident over the weekend. And sadly, the lady who was driving Mercedes-Benz that he was in died, but he was taken to the hospital. And the controversy about it, James, was that according to a statement on the Zambia Football Federation Facebook page that I saw myself, that statement was actually from the police in Zambia. It was stated that he passed. And then later, also his club, saying that TP Mazembe reversed their own statement. And okay, maybe I should go for Calabar did not survive the traffic accident this Saturday, April 13th in Zambia between Kafue and Lusaka. And then later, the club reversed their statement. And they said, precision, we have just learned this from the medical team who took care of Calabar, declared dead by the emergency doctors who received the former TP Mazembe player, victim of a serious traffic accident. The doctor who received him just placed him in an artificial coma. So there's been back and forth about whether Rainford Calabar actually died in this in this accident. Like I said, the lady who was driving the Mercedes Benz, actually what happened was the lady was trying to make an unsafe overtaking on the highway, and he collided with the truck, and she died on the spot, while Calabar sustained very, very serious injury and was taken to the hospital. As a matter of fact, they say he actually wasn't breathing at that time. But now the statement is that, or what we're hearing from the medical team is that it was placed under a natural coma, so to say, in order to help him revive internally before coming back on. James, I think this is a very, because the police actually were the first to put out a statement that he died, and almost everybody took it up. Then I'm sure they must have thrown the family into serious sadness and mourning and all that. Then the leader came out to say that it was actually in an artificially induced coma, so to say.
Yeah, I think that it had to do with communication breakdown. The first point, I don't think they really did justice. They just sometimes you can't even blame, because it's what the doctor, the medical told them. That's because but thank God for just pray that it comes out hale and hearty. Unfortunately, somebody couldn't make it. That's the lady that you mentioned. May I so rest in peace. This thing happened, so pray that we will not hear such again. And this is still in induced coma. What do you call it? I just pray that you're able to come out of it, because we've seen a lot of, there are some stars who went into coma and never came back. I remember the Senegalese who died after being in coma for over many years. It was just due to overdose. Then the F1 legend Michael Schumacher is still in coma and speaking with you. So I just pray that he'll be able to come out from the coma. Since it's something that they placed him in, I pray that he comes out of it, because this is not something that is going to be taken. He needs everybody's prayers now, because I mean, for him to escape the accident, that's a big, what will I call it now? It's something that everybody should be happy about. And now it's in another stage now. It's for him now to come out from the coma. And whether he will now come out a changed person, that's another thing. Because for me, nobody prays to go through such the experiences. Whoever have never experienced this will not know what this is. I mean, it's not something to pray for. Even though your enemy, you never pray for such. So I saw this story. There was one comment that said he has passed. The next thing you start hearing, no, he's still alive, that he's in coma. And so let's just pray that he comes out of this and see where it goes from there.
Okay, so our prayers are up to God for Rainford Calabar to return, because he's a former Zambia and former Zambia captain and a former TP Mazembe player.
Just an AFCON winner too.
An AFCON winner, right? Thank you for pointing that out. Before we leave the talking point, let's talk about the issue of African teams being denied visa. Maybe trying to participate in a competition abroad. Recently, the Handball Federation in Cameroon, they had to cancel a Paris Olympic qualifier for their team, because they were not given visas by the German embassy. And it's very sad. Recently, I don't know, I'm sure you've been following that story, of course, in Nigeria. I think under 15, they were denied visa also. They were supposed to participate in a tournament in Spain, I think. They were denied visa. But this is even a qualifier for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. And they were denied visa. And of course, the Federation had to put up a statement. And they said, we have submitted a request for an appointment to the German consulate responsible for processing visa formalities. However, faced with a lack of reaction from this chancellery, we request the intervention of the International Handball Federation, IHF, and the president of the African Handball Federation. Following this, we were given an appointment for last Monday. We responded, but unfortunately, the delegation was turned away from the consulate without even examining our files under the pretext that we do not have an insurance certificate, even though the bearer was outside to make them available to us. Jim, this is sad. I don't know why African countries are treated in this manner. Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon. I've seen a lot of issues like this. Forget about the issue of sponsors. Sometimes you heard they're supposed to participate in a competition abroad, but because of lack of fund or paucity of fund, but they were denied visa. This is a team representing a country that was supposed to participate in a qualifier for the Paris Olympic Games.
I mean, it's sad. You begin to wonder, like, why is it that when it comes to African team and Africans, they always have to go through things like this. You never hear such when it comes to the other part of the world where they deny them visa. Like sometimes the kind of excuses they even come up with is so flimsy. Like you begin to question, like, does it have to do with is it something else, or they're just being economical with the truth? I mean, if it's really, at least we bold enough to come out and say this is the reason why we are denying you visa. But sometimes when they tell you the reason, you will baffle like,
because
oh, what is
sorry
this?
to cut in, James. You don't hear that. Sorry, you don't hear that the Spanish team, a team in Spain was denied visa, going to England for to participate in a competition, or you heard that a US team was denied visa entering Portugal, or even Colombia, or even coming to South Africa. But why this is so regular with African teams trying to participate in international competitions?
Yeah. So it's like I said, it's something that's very, very sad that needs to be looked into, because this is a major tournament. I qualify for a major tournament that they are going for, and you just decide to deny them visa without any concrete reasons why you're doing that. Maybe they are trying to checkmate some of these African teams. You remember, we know that we have instances where some players
they don't return
absconded,
after
they don't return.
Yeah.
Maybe that was one area they are looking at, but they are not bold enough to come out and say it. You know, we've heard of instances where some athletes left the games village,
abandon their
and they were
team.
never,
Yeah.
yes, and they were never seen again. You know, so but these are junior teams. You know, so I don't, especially in the Nigerian case, I think it was the under 15, if I'm not mistaken. You know, so where will somebody who's under 15, what does he know that we want to abscond? You know, you know. So, but to be fair, these things like this have happened in the past. We've had cases like this. You know, so it's something that needs to be looked into, because other teams from other countries, especially outside Africa, you hardly hear things like it. But it is when it comes to Africa, you hear things like this. Like contingent went for a major tournament, and some of their athletes didn't return with them. You know, so I think it's something that they have to take up, because they are going for a major tournament, and for you to deny them visa, I mean, you're trying to. It's like you're about to end the dreams of some of these athletes. I mean, what other opportunities do they have to showcase what they can do? You know, so I just hope that this will be looked into and be resolved.
Yeah. Okay. Of course, like you said, I think this will end the dreams of a lot of players, and I also think that. For instance, the country should have a policy system of having granted someone a visa, even days before the visa expires. I think there should be a way of policing them in order to ensure that they do not abscond, if that is the worry of some of these European teams who offer visa. Remember also, James, recently, Nigeria was supposed to play Argentina in an international friendly, and that game was called off because some officials of Nigeria were not granted visa.
Yeah.
All right, of course, let's go on this break. When we return, we'll be talking about our stars in the diaspora today. Where are we going? You will know on the flip side. Please stay with us. Welcome back. It's still Sports Africa. Of course, we've been having awesome time on the show. James, I would have loved us to talk about former Ghana Football Federation President Kwesi Yataki, but hopefully on Friday things will get clearer. Then we'll talk about him because of what happened over the weekend in Ghana. He's been trying to find his relevancy in public life once again. I remember how he was disgraced out of office over bribery, $60,000, and handed a lifetime sanction by a ban by FIFA. Then it was reduced to 15 years in 2020. Over the weekend, he contested for a political office in Ghana in a by-election. He lost. Before that election, he collapsed. He was hospitalized. Then on election day, he resurrected, so to say, resurrected. And of course, out of 9 contestants, he finished as 7th. So that has been generating a lot of issues in Ghana. But hopefully, there will be more fallout for us to actually sink things in as the days go by, or even by Friday. Hopefully, we have enough content to talk about that. Now, James, let's talk about our stand diaspora today. We are going in no other place other than Bayern Leverkusen, because these African players, we might not know what it means, but the club will know what it means to them, to help them end their 120-year wait for the first Bundesliga title. I think all of them, all these 5 African players, the picture on the screen, they deserve to be our star in diaspora today. Not stars, stars in diaspora on this edition of Sports Africa.
Yes, like I said earlier, congratulations to them. This feat will not be complete without mentioning the part these African players contributed. So I mean, I remember the last season it was Napoli and Victor Osimhen and Anguissa. And this season again, another major league in Europe. We have African players, doing well for the team. The good thing is these are teams that they are not the big guns in their league, but I mean they are able to do something.
The extraordinary.
Napoli did it over the Milan club, Juventus. Now this is a team that has never in their history won the league title. I think in the 80s they won the then UEFA Cup, and their trophy cabinet is so scanty, but they've just landed a major trophy. So hopefully this will be the first of many to come. Like I said before, they still have 2 trophies to fight for, the Europa League and the DFB-Poka. So congratulations to these Africans. They are African legends. So and I just hope that they will continue from there. It's not the time to relax. They still have a lot to offer the team. They can still go on and land the treble. There are trebles and there are trebles.
Don't call it the treble, because if there's no Champions League, don't call it the treble.
You still refer to it as a treble, because it's not easy for a club like this to they are close to it, and hopefully, whether they achieve it or not, they are already winners this season. So congratulations to these African legends.
All right, of course. Let's talk about the big game over the weekend. It was Wydad Casablanca hosting FAR Rabat, and you and Kaide, you actually did a nice job analyzing that game. But of course, FAR Rabat, they showed that they actually mean business this season, and they might have as well have run away as the winner of the 2023-2024 Botola Pro League in Morocco. James, of course, FAR Rabat, they won 1-0. They defeated Wydad Casablanca at home, and they've now opened a 4-point gap at the top of the table with just a game to go. So they are as well good as champions. But the question is, Wydad Casablanca, what's actually happening? Only Raja Casablanca, their city rival, have been able to stay toe-to-toe with FAR Rabat this season. But Wydad, sometimes you can argue that these things happen in football, James.
Yeah, I mean, these things happen. Look at Bayern Munich.
Like Man United are currently suffering now.
Look at the team like Bayern. They have to surrender their dominance. So these things happen. And there's always that season when a particular team will just come around and refuse to give up their lead. That's just what FAR Rabat did. So congratulations to them. I expected, I tipped Wydad to come out tops, but I mean, FAR Rabat, they had other ideas and they won the game. So they showed their intent that they are not there to joke. They really want to wrap things up, and what way to go about it, doing it against one of the biggest teams in Moroccan football. So like I said, congratulations to them, and let's see how things pans out. Things like this happen. There's always that season where one of the big teams will just struggle all through. We are seeing it in the Ghana Premier League too. The heavyweights, the Ashanti Kotoko and the Asafo. They also look at what happening to them. So what happened last season was it showed that it was not fluke. if another team and a small team, they are coming up already. They are mixing it with the big teams. So that it brings excitement, not the usual suspects. It takes away the excitement. But when you have these smaller teams coming, and one thing about these teams is when they're on the run, when they are like close to achieving greatness, you always see that support. They always get the support from neutrals. That's what Bayern
Yeah.
Leverkusen got this season. Napoli too got it this season. So a good one for FAR about, and let's see whether come next season the big boys will step up.
Okay, all right. Of course, our 5 African players who are part of the success story of Bayer Leverkusen this season, we celebrate you all. For instance, if you look at someone like Victor Boniface and even Nathan Tella, who are Nigerians, Nathan Tella was supposed to play with Southampton in the Championship, where Boniface was with Union Saint Gilloise in the Belgian League. I'm sure not in their wildest dream would they have thought that this season they will be champ, even with 4 matches to spare in the German Bundesliga. So we celebrate every one of them, and we hope that their DFB-Poka and of course in the Europa League they will be able to do the treble according to James. But some people say that a treble is not treble without the UEFA Champions. James, thank you so much for your analysis, your thoughts on the show today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Femi. See you in the next edition.
Yeah, fantastic from James in Kayode's absence. Our fans across the world, we thank you so much for your support. Please, we want you to subscribe to this channel. We realize that a lot of our subscribers on the Just for Fans Forum haven't come along with us to this platform. Please, subscribe to our channel, please. If you know some of your friends, some of your people who you even, maybe you referred them to or you recommended our channel, Just for Fans Forum to, please tell them to subscribe our channel. All we do here is to project African players, African games, African sport, African football generally, whatever we promote Africa. We just talk about the handball federation in Zambia, in Cameroon, I should say, as they were denied visa to participate in our Olympic qualifier on the show today. So those are the major things we do, particularly for those in diaspora who are far away from home and not acquainted with so much of what is happening regarding sport on the continent. Here we bring them close to you. So please subscribe. Tell someone to please subscribe to our channel. It's Sport Africa. Sport Africa. Sport without the S, then Africa with the K. Thank you so much for all your support. We appreciate it. We hope that you have a fantastic week ahead of you. Today is Monday. It's going to be a fruitful week for every one of us. I remain Ashalo Rapem. We'll see you all on Friday by God's grace. Bye for now.